Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing fine. In this video lecture we are going to study about the topic viscosity and kinematic viscosity and the effect of temperature and pressure on viscosity. So without wasting any more time, let's begin. Viscosity is the measure of resistance of fluid to any kind of deformation. Fluids deform continuously under the action of shear stresses, however small the shear stress may be. So first of all, let us study what is a fluid and how does it deform under the action of a shear stress. Any substance which is in either in liquid state or in gaseous state will be termed as a fluid. And suppose if we apply any kind of parallel force to the top surface of a fluid, then that parallel force will be termed as shear force, which in turn will develop some kind of shear stresses in it. Now moving on to the cases of solids. In the case of solids, stress is proportional to strain, while in the case of liquids, stress is proportional to strain rate. Why is it so? Let us see with the example. Here we are having a solid block which is resting on a solid surface. This block is ABCD, and suppose if we apply any kind of parallel force F in the right direction, then this block will deform in a way like this. Here point A will move to a different point which is A dash, and here with the due to the effect of this parallel force F, some shear stresses will develop, which I can denote with the help of tau. Because of this shear stress, some shear strain will develop, which will be phi. So in the case of solids, our deformation is limited. In the case of solids, tau, which is stress, is proportional to phi, which is strain. But this thing is not seen in the case of liquids, as in the case of liquids, continuous deformation is seen. Now let us see why this viscosity occurs. So this viscosity is the result of some internal frictional forces which are present in the different layers which are in relative motion with each other. To understand this in a broader way, let us see with a different example. Suppose we are standing on a bank of a river. Suppose the depth of the river is 1 meter, and if we tie a small thread to a stone and drop the stone to the bottom of the river, and if we just pull the thread and just make a cut on the top surface of the river water, and suppose the flow of water is in right direction, then the next moment you will see that the thread will deform in a way like this. So what you are seeing that the velocity at the top surface of water is maximum, while the velocity at the bottom surface is minimum or nil. So this is the velocity profile, which is showing the change of velocity with respect to height. Now if we divide this 1 meter depth of water into different layers, we will see that each layer is moving with some different velocity as relative to the different layers. Suppose this layer is moving with a velocity some u. Suppose this is moving with u, then suppose this is moving u plus du, some greater velocity. This is small depth dy. Now to study the internal frictional force, let us see this thing in a little bit broader way. Now these are our two layers which are moving with different velocities. The top is moving with a greater velocity u plus du, and the bottom one is moving with a smaller velocity u. Now as the top layer moves, it tries to drag the bottom layer with itself. Now the bottom layer will try to resist this motion, so the bottom layer will exert a frictional shear stress in the opposite direction, which will be tau here. Now if we see the bottom layer, then bottom layer is also moving in the right direction, but if we consider the relative motion between these two layers, then we will see that this layer is moving faster. So the bottom layer is moving in backward direction as compared to the top layer, because it is in relative motion. So the top layer will exert a forward frictional shear stress tau. So here this tau shear stress comes into action. Now let us see what is our viscosity. What we have seen earlier, that viscosity is the result of internal frictional shear stress. So what we have seen in the case of liquids, that stress is proportional to strain rate. So first of all, let us find out what is this strain rate. Now here we are taking a simple example of those two layers which were moving with two different velocities, u and u plus du. The height difference between these two layers is dy, and in this case let us suppose that the deformation occurs for a small time interval dt. In that small time interval, let us suppose the particle which is here moves by a small distance dA. It moves till here. It moves dA distance. So here the shear strain becomes d theta, and this dA distance will be equal to velocity into time, which will be du into dt. So this is the distance covered by the particle in a small time interval dt. Now what we have studied that in the case of liquids, stress is proportional to shear strain. The rate of shear strain. So here if we take tan d theta, we will get dA by dy, and here d theta is very small, so tan d theta can be written simply as d theta, which will be dA by dy, and here dA is du into dt, so this dA is substituted to du, it is replaced by du into dt. Now if we take this dt on the left side, it will become d theta by dt is equal to du by dy, and this d theta by dt is nothing but the strain rate or the rate of shear strain, and this du by dy is termed as velocity gradient, which is showing the change of velocity with respect to height. Now what was our thing which we studied in the case of liquids, that the shear stress is proportional to strain rate or the rate of shear strain. So this tau is proportional to d theta by dt, and this d theta by dt is nothing but du by dy, and to remove this proportionality sign, a constant will come into action, which is mu, which is called coefficient of viscosity or dynamic viscosity or simply absolute viscosity. The unit of this dynamic viscosity is Newton second per meter square. If we substitute Newton with kilogram meter per second square, one unit will become kilogram per meter second, and if we substitute Newton per meter square to Pascal, one unit will become Pascal second. Now there is one more unit which is poise, and here 1 Newton second per meter square is equal to 10 poise. Now let us move to our different new term, which is kinematic viscosity. Now it is simply the ratio of dynamic viscosity to density, which is mu by rho. It is denoted by nu, and the unit of kinematic viscosity is meter square per second. There is one more unit which is termed as Stoke, and it is equal to 1 centimeter square per second or 10 to the power minus 4 meter square per second. Now let us see the effect of temperature on viscosity. First of all, let us see the case of liquids. In the case of liquids, the major forces of attraction are the intermolecular forces or the cohesive forces, which occur in between the particles of the molecules. Now, as the temperature is increased, more energy will be imparted to the particles. As more energy is imparted to the particles, there will be more free movement. Now this more free movement decreases the resistance to flow. So as the resistance to flow decreases, therefore the viscosity will also decrease. So in the case of liquids, viscosity decreases with the increase in temperature. Now moving on to the case of gases, the major forces of attraction are the intermolecular collisions. Now as the temperature is increased in the case of gases, more collisions will take place, and these collisions will increase the resistance to flow. So in the case of gases, as the temperature is increased, the viscosity mu will also increase. Now let us see the effect of pressure on viscosity. So first of all, let us see the effect of pressure, or we can see the effect of pressure on both cases, like in liquids and gases. in the case of viscosity, the pressure is not having any significant role, or we can say the pressure, or we can say the viscosity is independent of pressure, but it can be considered when the pressure is very high. But if we move to kinematic viscosity, then kinematic viscosity is what? It is the ratio of viscosity to density, and pressure P is directly proportional to density rho. So we can say that as the pressure will increase, density rho will also increase. Here rho is our density. So as the pressure will increase, the density will also increase, and as the density will increase, it will result in the decrement of the kinematic viscosity. So pressure has a effect on the case of kinematic viscosity. As the pressure will increase, density will increase, which in turn will affect in the kinematic viscosity, and it will result in the decrement of it. Now we will see one graph which will be with respect to viscosity and temperature. This is mu versus temperature. Here we will see that as the temperature increases, what we have studied earlier, in the case of liquids, viscosity will decrease like water, and in the case of gases, air, viscosity will increase with temperature. Now there are two more relations, which are that viscosity of water is 50 times the viscosity of air, and kinematic viscosity of air is 15 times the kinematic viscosity of water. So why it is reverse here? We know that kinematic viscosity is the ratio of viscosity to density, and in the case of gases, the density is quite low as compared to the case of water. So in the case of air, density is quite low, so kinematic viscosity will increase in the case of air. So this was our video on these topics. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.